Hi, Patrick here at Cheetah Will View, and we are back for another film review from BayView Entertainment. That's right. So the movie that we're going to be talking about today is the Omicron Killer. And the Omicron Killer stars a whole host of familiar faces and some new ones to me. Writer director Jimmy Knight has teamed up to create with also Paugh Shadow and also Johnny. I hope I'm not killing your name, Johnny. Johnny Carissa, and he plays Healy O'Malley. So the story is thus: there's a serial killer called the COVID Killer. And now, one right off the bat, I got to let you know that this movie was definitely filmed during the COVID crisis. Everybody's wearing a mask and gloves and what have you, and staying 6 feet or 6 feet apart. You can definitely see this in the movie. Everybody's doing protocols, and they were for the most part. You can understand when you're watching this movie, you understand the care and the thought that went behind it as to, yes, we want to make a movie, but we definitely want to do it the right way. So that being said, this small task force is trying to find the COVID killer. Well, they do. They find him, and they wipe him out. But in doing so, that sparks a copycat killer, played by Paugh Shadow, and he himself is busted. They bust him for a killer, and he gets hurt, and they bring him into the hospital, and he has a bad leg. He got hurt during a commission of his latest evil crime, and he gets transferred to the hospital, where the staff treats him pretty much like dog do. Well, he is a killer after all, except for Nurse Nancy. Nurse Nancy shows a lot of compassion for him. And so, she's taking care of him. At first, you think that she's sort of like a serial killer groupie type deal. So you're not really sure. What exactly what she's all about. Meanwhile, the copycat killer is sparking interest among the captain, and she leads. Like I said, she tells a small task force that they got to find out who this copycat killer is. And so there's a lot of characters in this movie. We have a cult that's trying to raise up the original COVID killer. We have a group of young kids, and I do mean young kids, that are trying to catch the copycat killer because one of their relatives has died. And then we also have the other two detectives in the task force who are basically following around the lead pair and trying to find out who is also in on the game. So I have to admit, the first half of this movie, I was thinking about this movie and I'm watching it and I'm trying to figure out, are they trying to play it straight, or are they having a lot of fun with it? And I had to go with fun. This is actually a pretty funny movie. There's a lot of comedy in it, a lot of homages into it. Has a really good cast. I have to admit, the cast was really good. It has Ling. Of course, everybody knows her from The Crow. This is now my fourth movie that I've seen with Felissa Rose, and she is absolutely she cracks me up. She cracks me up. She plays the cult leader, Edie, and you know what? Felissa Rose has got to be the most unique actress working in horror today. Anytime you see her when she's not filming, she is the nicest and the sweetest person you'll ever see. She is kind. She has time for all the fans. She is just she'd be fun to talk to. But boy, when they say action, her characters go bonkers. Bonkers. And she's no different here. She is funny as hell. I thought Jeff Knight plays the director. He also the writer. He played Jimmy. I thought he did a great job too. I thought he was a lot of fun. and of course, his partner John Carithia. I hope I'm not killing that name too bad. He actually almost stole this movie. I really liked his detective, Healy. I thought he had a lot of heart. He was a happy-go-lucky guy. He was really happy. He liked being a cop. I mean, he really was a really nice guy. And you're sitting there going like, man, he ain't making it half the movie. He's just too nice of a guy. Not so fast. Uh, we also have Lynn Lowry in a scene-stealing role as Captain Louise Callahan. I'm sure that's probably a nod to Leslie Easterbrook's character in Police Academy because she's a badass in this movie and she is funny as hell. I mean, I just laughing every time she come on and start talking. I was cracking up. And of course, the secret weapon in this movie is Paugh Shadow, who plays the copycat COVID killer, and later on he becomes the Omicron Killer. He was formidable. I gotta tell you, he was formidable. He didn't have any words to say, but his look, first between a medical mask and then he goes and picks up a mask. Now remember, this movie was made before the black phone. This movie was made before the black phone. But if you see the mask on the black phone, the half mask right here, that's what he wears toward the second half of the movie. It's very effective. I really liked how he portrayed his killer because he was not supernatural at all. He can be stopped, and he actually did get stopped. He got stopped pretty good by those kids. I tell you that. In a critical scene, the kids finally they catch him. We're talking like kids like between 10 and 13, and they catch him at the graves at the cemetery, and they lay a trap for him. They trap him and they beat the snot out of him. And which I thought was pretty interesting. I thought that was really interesting because it just showed him as being, well, he was vicious, but he was vulnerable, very vulnerable. I thought it was an interesting performance. The movie does get into the killing. There are some creative kills here. There's a homage to Friday the 13th. In fact, there's two homages to Friday the 13th in this movie, and there's a homage to there. And yeah, don't. I tell you one thing: don't give this guy a crowbar. Not a good idea. He's pretty lethal with it. But he seems to only go after people who have insulted him. So if you insult him, he's not going to like that too much. Otherwise, he leaves you alone. He has no interest in anybody other than people who come at him or make comments about him. And that includes, unfortunately, Nurse Nancy, who, upon seeing two of her colleagues get killed, she snaps. And because she sees two of her friends get killed, all she had to do is to stay quiet and she would have lived. So we hang out with everybody here. We hang out with all four detectives. We hang out with the Omicron Killer. We find out that he's not a copycat killer at all. He turns out to be he wants to outdo the COVID killer. He wants to take his title, take his reputation, his infamy, so to speak. So he's not copying him. He's actually trying to get ahead of him and take his victims before the COVID killer does. Now that was an interesting twist in the movie too. That was really twist because most of the time copycats are always following what the other person did. Well, what if killing was a bit of a chess game? So we see the Omicron Killer as he's first he's called the copycat killer, but once they realize that, yeah, he's sort of ahead of the game, they have to call him the Omicron Killer. Detectives Healy and of course Jimmy, they set up a really interesting trap to catch the COVID killer or the Omicron Killer, and yeah, this is one of those rare movies. This is one of those rare movies where the good guys actually take care of business. Um, Now, of course, there is sort of a thing like there's a sequel that could be coming out of this. I don't know. I know this. I don't know if we need a sequel. A spinoff might be interesting. With the two police officers or the four police officers and the captain. That could be interesting. I don't think you need to bring back either the Omicron killer or the COVID killer, but I would definitely like to see the cops come back. Um, like I said, I enjoyed this. This is a funny movie, and some decent kills, and even some gratuitous nudity. Throwback to the '80s. That's right. There's like I said, there's a one kill that's an homage to Friday the 13th. You'll know it when you see it, and then Detective Healy himself gets a little bit of action for shining for running his lights, and so there's a little bit of everything for everybody. You want kills, you got it. You want cool horror icons, you got it. You got some humor, you got a lot of that, and gratuitous nudity, you got some of that as well. Um, you can pick this up at BayView Entertainment. I'll be leaving that description down below. Um, and yeah, you can go pick yourself up a copy. I liked it. I don't know if there's gonna be, this is a screener for me, so I don't know what features will be on the movie itself. I'm not sure if there'll be any special features. I hope so, and I definitely hope so that there's a director's commentary. I hope the producers of the movie do that. That would be helpful, producers of the movie. And especially one who I'm talking to. I hope there's a director. I hope there's a director commentary on this. Um, yeah, I think you guys will dig this one. And yeah, that's my review. Thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. Drop a comment down below. If you've seen the Omni Killer, I'd like to hear your thoughts about it. It's gotten great reviews over on IMDb, and while I can't go for a 10 for 10 for it, I definitely can go for an 8 for it. I thought I had a lot of heart. I thought it was a lot of fun, and what really pushes over it for me was the fact they did it during the COVID, and that could not have been easy at all. Um, so hats off to all the artists who worked their ass off to bring us a fun movie. I tip my hat off to you. All right, that's it for this time. We will see you the next time through. Hopefully bring something new from me from BayView Entertainment. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.